Hello everyone, it's your friend, your boy, Jeff, like the one and only, here with another exciting video. This video is about how many universes are in the DC Multiverse. The answer is there are an infinite number of universes in the DC Multiverse. I know what you might be thinking. There used to be an infinite number of universes in the DC Multiverse, Nick, until this event happened, Crisis on Infinite Earths, in which the infinite multiverse was destroyed, and now there's no longer an infinite multiverse. Well, that was the case for a while. Then in the New 52, they were like, actually, there are now 52 Earths in the multiverse, and here's a map of the multiverse showing all 52 Earths. So you could be like, nah, Jet, there aren't infinite Earths, there used to be infinite Earths, and now there are only 52 Earths. You could even take it a step further and go, in Dark Knight's Metal, they show the map of the multiverse from Multiversity. The map we were just looking at, but actually in the comic. And then they flipped it over, and then they're like, and then there's the Dark Multiverse. So you could be like, there are 52 Earths in the normal DC Multiverse, but then there are a whole bunch more Earths in the Dark Multiverse. So you could be like, ha, there aren't an infinite number. Got you, Jet. Then you could go even further and say that in a recent Justice League run, they introduced the fact that Perpetua, who's this godlike being, is actually the creator of the multiverse, and that Perpetua reveals that there are other godlike beings who also have created their own multiverses, so technically there are a whole bunch of multiverses. Which is true, but then you could still argue, but there isn't an infinite number of Earths. Ha, got him! That doesn't necessarily mean there's an infinite number, that just means there are multiple multiverses. To which I would say, the multiple multiverses is actually a lot closer to the truth because there are more than one multiverse. That Justice League run more or less just proves that. But I'm not here to talk about the Justice League run. I'm here to talk about Convergence. Convergence is a big DC Crisis event that occurred in 2015, where at the end of Convergence, the way that they resolved the story was to say, okay, we gotta go back in time, and we have to undo Crisis on Infinite Earths. So, Crisis on Infinite Earths, yeah, that never happened. So remember when all the infinite worlds got destroyed? They never got destroyed. They're just all still there. So there's still infinite worlds again. It's weird to say there's still infinite worlds again. There were always infinite worlds. Crisis on Infinite Earths didn't occur. Just ignore that. Didn't happen. Convergence happened. So that didn't happen. And you may be like, I didn't read Convergence. How do I know that there's an infinite multiverse? I mean, you just showed in Dark Knight's Metal an event that happened after Convergence. They're still just referring to the 52. You could be like, I've been reading DC Comics way longer than just from like 2015. And ever since then, they only ever go to these 52 worlds. You could be like, at the end of Dark Knight's Metal, they introduce Earth 53. You're like, there might be 53 worlds in our multiverse, and then a whole bunch of other multiverses based off of that Perpetua comment. And it's like, well, you may not have read Convergence, and neither did I. I also didn't read Convergence, but I did read this interview with the creator of Convergence, one of the writers, Jeff King. He was interviewed on comicbook.com. And he was talking about the Convergence finale. They asked him, is it safe to assume that there's an infinite multiverse again, rather than just 52 worlds? And if so, even if the primary worlds are evolved into their new 52 counterparts, does that suggest that there's probably another one just like it out there somewhere? To which then Jeff King, the writer of Convergence, said, yes, in Convergence number 8, we reference Multiversity, Multiversity being the book that introduced the Multiverse Map of 52 universes, and show you some of the post-convergence worlds that make up the reconstituted DC Multiverse. In many ways, the number of worlds is now infinite. There may even be more than one multiverse. So, to answer your question, yes, there is an infinite number of worlds in the multiverse. And in the normal multiverse, since there's more than one multiverse, which we already kind of knew since there's a dark multiverse, which is on the back of the Multiversity map, and you have the Perpetua comment that there are multiple multiverses. So we already knew there were multiple multiverses. But Convergence introduced that there were literally just infinite universes because Crisis on Infinite Earths didn't happen. Now you may be wondering, how is it that I didn't know about this? Like, even if I didn't read Convergence, you know, that seems like a pretty big deal. I feel like I would have heard, like, the fact that there are infinite universes come up in, like, a comic I was reading. Well, ever since Convergence, it just seems like this fact has been ignored. People have been mainly just sticking to the Multiverse Map of 52 worlds and not really bothering with any of these, like, infinite universe worlds. They just never come up and never cross over with the main story. They exist, but they're just there. So the answer is, there are an infinite number of worlds in the DC Multiverse, but it really doesn't matter because no one's writing about them. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, make sure to smash that like button, favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding ding ding, ring the notification bell to be notified whenever you do these videos. What do you think of this video? Was it enjoyable to you? Definitely let me know in the comment section below. And make sure you check out my video, These Superheroes Do Not Exist. It's about a project that I'm doing with John Mason. This is your host and friend, your boy, Jeb like the one only. Logging out. Peace, guys. Peace.